I loved this anime so freaking much. This anime was probably almost one of the best animes I have ever actually seen. It was actually really beautiful, and I just really love this anime. I cannot just put into words how much I loved this anime. Even though I just finished it last night, I just don't know how much I can actually put into words how much I really just love this anime. But it still was actually one of those more depressing animes. Kind of like Air, Angel Beats, Canon, Anohana, which I actually haven't seen, but I have it on my to-watch list, on my anime list. So, Clannad was just one of those animes that was funny but sad at the same exact time, but it still had like really dramatic parts, and it was just really good. Now, I will have to stop like talking about how much it was good and stuff like that, and actually get on with the review. Okay, so here we go now. The story was this, basically. So, it was about this. Tomoya is labeled as a delinquent at his school because he is constantly late and skips classes, but he seems to have little care about how others perceive of him. Everything in his life seemed dull and unchanging until one morning he meets Nagisa Furukawa. On the road to his school, he finds her muttering to herself to give her more motivation for the day. She has an odd habit of saying names of the food she is going to eat to encourage herself. Nagisa has been sick for almost a year. Last year, and subsequently has to repeat her third year of school, but now all her friends have graduated and she feels alone. For some reason, after hearing Nagisa talking to herself, Tomoya becomes interested and befriends her. So that's basically the story, but then there becomes like more characters in the process. Not just Nagisa, and people like Kyo and Ro and other people. I'll get to that though. So, yeah. And the next thing, obviously, the characters thing. Right now, okay, now here's the characters. Okay, first off, there is Tomoya Okazaki, who is basically like the main protagonist, and if this is actually considered a harem, except it isn't, he's like the main guy character of the whole thing, so yeah. Then there is Nagisa Furukawa. She is obsessed with the Big Dongo family, which is the ending. It shows like the whole thing, so you actually understand. Next is Kyo Fujibayashi, who is she's like the class rep, I guess. If I'm not mistaken, she is. And she has a pet pig named Botan, which I think is actually probably the cutest pet character on there. And then there's also her twin, which is actually more of like a supporting cast, I guess, which is Ro Fujibayashi. So then next is actually the cutest anime character ever in my opinion, Fuko Ibuki. She's obsessed with starfish, and you find out more about her because basically a lot about her is a spoiler for the series. So then the next one is Kotomi Ichinose, who, well, at first I thought she was going to be a supporting character, but then you finally realize that she isn't when you get to see her more often, because like for a few episodes it like really had to do with her. So yeah. Next is Sunohara. I don't know his first name. All I know that's his last name. So yeah. He always gets beat up by this one girl, which he's actually a supporting character, and he gets beat up by a main character, not the main character, but a main character, who I totally just forgot about now, which is Tomoyo Sakagami. Not Tomoya, even though they have very similar names. Tomoyo. Yeah, it's kind of strange. So, there's a lot of other characters to name, but there's just really just too many to name. But the characters all out the series were really great and not bland, just really great. They just didn't have any blandness about them. That's what I find really great about the characters in this series. Okay, now I would have to say that the ending was, I have to mention the ending first. Dango Daikazoku. Damn. So, I have to mention this first, just because there's a countless number of times I have got this stuck in my head. It is a very, very, very catchy song. I would have to warn you about that now, if you have not yet seen the series. It is just so damn catchy that, yeah, it's a song that gets in your head very easily. But that doesn't mean it's a bad song. I'm not trying to hate on it. I mean, it's actually kind of a good song. But, yeah. But then the opening, on the other hand, I find it better than the ending. I mean, they're just really good openings and endings and stuff. But I would have to say that the opening is probably really better. Even though there's not much throughout the opening. Just basically like showing off the characters and showing off like the garbage doll story and stuff. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Well, you just have to see the series to know about the garbage doll. Anyways, yeah, let's move on. As I said before, at the beginning of this video, I said that I just loved this anime. Well, a lot of people would just love this too. I mean, there are a lot of fans of this, I know. There's a second series called Clannad After Story, which I heard is depressing as hell. It's like depressing as hell. I mean, I hear that, like, it's just so freaking sad. I mean, I've seen pictures and memes that said, like, a SpongeBob meme. It said, okay, like, the Salty Splatoon episode, yeah, I've seen SpongeBob before. It said, how tough are you? And he's like, how tough am I? I watched Clannad After Story. And then he said, and only cried for 4 hours. Yeah, I heard it's that freaking depressing. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it. Someday I hope to actually watch it. It might be my next anime because I'm looking for an anime to watch because I just finished this and Danganronpa, the animation, which is kind of different. But I will get to review that someday, I hope. And now, since I'm almost done with this review, I have to say that this anime had a lot of sad parts and some funny parts at the same time. And so, all of this adding up, well, actually, I will give this anime a 9 out of 10. It is a really awesome anime. I will suggest it to anyone who has liked Angel Beats if they've seen it, or Clannad. Any of those animes. But I will recommend, if you haven't seen, and I will recommend Clannad if you haven't seen it, or Angel Beats if you haven't seen it. So yeah. And now this is the end of my review. Please subscribe.